they're talking about squirrels, so maybe they can't hear us. I don't know.
Okay, so that was extremely crazy. I have no idea
What
what
the
happened.
heck?
So we've been talking to you guys for a while, but I have a feeling like you guys haven't been hearing a word we've said. So, my one software showed that we were live, and then the other one we were looking at the chat and seeing what was going on, and it didn't look like you guys were hearing the word we were saying. So I'm going to give you guys the intro again just because I can. Check this out. That's how the live was supposed to start. But like I said, one screen said that we were live, and then the other one says
That
it
we
was
weren't.
a preview. So that got really confusing. So we are going to start the whole thing all
That
over
is
again.
so weird. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Apparently you didn't hear a word we were saying, which is good because I was tripping up quite a lot.
So we're going to restart this whole conversation all over again because, oops, shows we're real. Okay. So going back to, hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We were originally planning on releasing a video today talking about our past in the paranormal. A lot of people have had questions of, are we new to the paranormal? Have we been doing it for a while? What's your history? We've shared a little bit of information here and there, but I started to put together this whole video that we were going to release today. Recorded this whole long spiel, did the whole 9 yards, went to put it in my editor, and it was gone. It was just gone. So, yeah, we had a choice of either redoing it and not doing a video today, or at least going live, hanging out with you guys and explaining some things to you guys in person about our past, and then piece together more of the video later so you can see more of what we're talking about. Really weird. I still don't know why it wasn't live when we thought it was
That
live.
is it. I know. I'm still kind of trying to figure that out. That's
I was commenting about all the toilet paper rolls I was seeing in the chat. I said, that's our new thing right there, toilet paper. um, but anyway, um,
weird.
we decided we were going to sport our old paranormal shirts that we used to wear out on investigations. You know, right there, TIPA research.
Mine says that too under my jacket, but I'm cold, so.
Um, so we thought we would wear our old ghost hunting gear for you so you can kind of see what we used to look like when we were out on investigation. My hair was quite a bit shorter. You'll see that in some of the clips coming up. Um, but what I was doing was I thought I would start this off with telling you about the very first experience I ever had with anything remotely paranormal. I've already gone through this once, but apparently you guys didn't hear me. So we're doing it again.
We're doing it again.
Oh, wow, Kimmy. Thank you so much.
Kimmy! Oh my goodness.
Oh, you're incredible. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Especially since
So
we've
much.
foobarred this live stream.
Yeah, right.
Um,
We get to hear ourselves to say it twice.
yeah, echo, echo. Wow. I don't have the chat thing to pop up on the screen down below because I'm going to be bouncing around with some bunch of other stuff we have. But Kimmy, you're awesome. Thank you. We really do love you. We love the donation. It really does help us.
It's super helpful. That's definitely a tank of gas for us on our trip.
Yeah, it'll definitely help. But going back to the very first experience I ever remember is I was about 5 or 6 years old. I was living with my older brother, who's 2 years older, my mom, and my dad. This particular night, my dad was out on the road. He was a truck driver, so he was gone a lot. And I remember I was sitting on the couch with my mom, and she was brushing my hair and brushing her hair, and we were just kind of, you know, doing our thing. And my brother was off in the bath, taking a bath off to the right. And while we were sitting there for a little bit, at one point, I saw something go across the room. The closest thing I could describe it as was probably a shadow, a transparent shadow. But it went across the room, and afterwards, my mom didn't react to it, so I didn't react to it, and I didn't think about it after that point. Um, and a few minutes later, though, my mom calls off to the left, where the kitchen was, and was asking my brother, "What are you doing in there? What, you've been in there for a while. What are you doing in there?" And my brother responds from the bathroom that he's taking a bath. And I saw the look on my mom's face when he responded from the bathroom, and you could see that she was shocked. And she looked at me and she said, "Didn't your brother just go through here into the kitchen?" And me being 5 or 6, I saw something. I was like, "Yeah," but I didn't know what it was. I just saw something. Um, and I think the only reason why I remember that moment so well was because of the expression on my mom's face, seeing the shock that she had there, and I could tell that something wasn't right. But she immediately dropped the topic after that, and she just kind of went about doing other things to not acknowledge it. And that was probably the earliest experience I have with anything in the paranormal related world. How about you?
Well, now that I've muddled through it the first time, hopefully the second time will be a lot better since you can hear it this time. um, okay, so my older sister and I are about 2 years apart as well, and we were living in a really old, tiny rented house um, with our bio mom, and it was just us three girls. I was probably 4 or 5. I'm pretty sure. Um, and we had one of those root cellars that you have access through a what do you call them? Like a hit. I keep wanting to call it hitch, but I know it's not
I
it.
know
It's
them as like storm doors or something, where they
they,
open up.
no. It pulls up from like you roll back the carpet and you can see this handle and it comes like out of the floor.
Oh,
Do you know what I'm talking about?
yeah, I know
Like
what you're talking about, but I
like the
have no
trap
idea.
door type of things. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about, hopefully. It was like in the middle of the living room. And it was literally hidden underneath a carpet that you just pulled back. And anyway, we couldn't find our mom that particular day, and which was really unusual because she was usually nearby. And we were hollering around, looking outside in the yard, calling for her, couldn't find her anywhere. And as kids do, we don't think very well. My older sister thought, well, I'm going to go look in the root cellar, which was shut underneath the carpet. So we're, pushing this big door up, and it's just dark, 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 and the light switch is down towards the bottom. So she kind of inches her way down a little bit in the dark, thinking that our mom's in the dark down there, kids. So I kind of look right to the side of her, and I swear I saw this guy dressed in kind of old farm attire, holding a lantern, coming towards us, and I freaked. I don't know if my sister saw it, but I freaked, and when I freaked, she freaked, and we all scurried up the stairs and dropped the hatch really quick. But which was extra weird because by the time that spooked us out, we went to the neighbor's house, and the neighbor, I can't remember if she went over, if she called on the phone, and our mom was like, "No, I've been here the whole time." What? So that was really bizarre. That was my first, because I know I saw it. It's
Well,
weird.
the interesting thing about it too is a lot of people when they share their first experience, it's usually when they're kids. And I've heard a lot of people say it's because kids are more susceptible or more open to it, and they really don't realize the boundaries that we develop as we get older. And so knowing the difference between um, fact and fiction as far as what we're experiencing as kids. They're just more susceptible to recognize things that are out of the ordinary. And they learn from the older people on how to react to those moments, which makes sense. Um, there was one other experience that I did want to share with you. I've had a couple others, but there was one other I wanted to share with you. This was years later. I can't remember exactly how old I was. I'd probably say somewhere in the 20s. Um, I was living in a duplex. I was living on one side of a duplex, old building down in downtown Salt Lake. And me and the girl I was with then, um, we got in a lot of arguments. We'll just put it that way. And there was one time when we were in the kitchen and we had one of those old popcorn poppers, the cylinder style with a little spout, and then you plug in, and while it pops, it comes out the little spout
I
into a
remember
bowl.
those.
Um, we had one of those sitting on the kitchen table, and the power cord was wrapped around it. And when we were arguing, it was getting pretty heated. I mean, we were arguing, putting off a lot of energy. This popcorn popper started popping. I mean, it just started popping. And it stopped both of us mid sentence, and we both just kind of stared at it like, what the crap is that? What's going on? You know me and the trucks that are driving by. I had to open it up. I had to check, see if there's like rodents or anything weird going on inside of it. There's nothing. There's no reason why that thing would have just started popping on the table. Um, just simply no explanation.
Mm.
And so that was a very, very crazy experience for us as well. Um, but that obviously kind of triggered the curiosity more about the paranormal. Um, and so I wanted to know more about it. And as years went by, the TV shows started popping up, and the whole fad was starting with ghost hunters, ghost adventures. Um, there's quite a few other shows out there that were new, that were just kind of blowing up the whole paranormal, and it was really firing me up to want to go out and learn more about it. Um, so I took some time and I looked up a bunch of local paranormal teams, and I reached out to all of them saying, "Hey, how can I get to be a part of your group? How can I, you know, get more involved with the field so I can learn as much as I can or learn more about what's going on?" And the majority of them didn't even respond back to me, which nowadays I'm not surprised. And the ones that did were like, I'm sorry, but we're not looking for any new members right now. So maybe someday in the future we'll meet up. Great. So now what? Um, so I decided, I talked with a couple of my friends and a couple of my coworkers at the time, and they were interested in it too. So uh, we got a group of us together. We planned a day one day, and we decided we were going to go to a cemetery in the heart of Salt Lake. Very old but very large cemetery. Because we heard of a headstone that was out there that had the markings on it saying "Victim of the Beast 666." We were like, no, there's no way there's a headstone in this cemetery that says that.
Yes, there is.
So we've loaded up and we went out there and we searched around the cemetery for a while and we actually found it. And here, I'll show you a picture of the headstone. The picture of it so you could see what I'm referring to. Pop this on real quick. So that was the actual headstone that we found. In fact, that picture was taken the day that we were there. And the pennies were already on it and everything else like that. But that was a genuine headstone that was there. And so, of course, our curiosity piqued, and we decided, well, Gina, Thank you.
Oh, Jean, thank you.
We love you. We love all you guys. You
Seriously,
guys are
that is
incredible.
so sweet.
We're definitely going to put that to good use to come
Yes.
out and visit you guys.
Yes.
Can't wait for that.
Yes.
But
Coffee.
no coffee.
No coffee. No,
I-
it's gas
coffee.
money.
Coffee for me. No coffee for her.
No.
Thank you. We definitely greatly, deeply appreciate that. Um, but on that headstone that I was telling you about, we got there, we found it. We had an audio recorder and we had a K2, and so we just started asking questions. We didn't know what we were doing. We just know what we saw on the TV shows and figured, okay, well, we'll start with that and kind of go from there. And at the time we were there, we really didn't notice anything out of the ordinary. I mean, it is a cemetery, so it automatically has that vibe. But when I went back and I played the audio recorder back, I actually caught two separate EVPs. One of it, one of them that I identified, it said, "Prove it, Zoe, Zoe, no." Now I don't know who Zoe was. It almost sounded like a mother was talking to her child or something like that. And then the second one I heard a whisper saying, "Trust me. How could you do it?" And when I heard those two audio recordings later on, coming out of the audio recorder, I was blown away because I know that those things weren't said while we were there, and I was really tripping out when that happened. I'm going to see if I could play those two audio recordings for you. They're just short little clips. So if you have headphones on, you might hear them better. But I also hope it's not going to blow out your eardrums. So I'll play it 2 or 3 times a piece. And hopefully you guys will be able to hear it. Let me start the first audio recording for you. So first you're hearing me say MG because I was talking about milligauss. I was explaining the K2. But then that's
Not paranormal.
that's our security system. But you hear me say MG, but then you hear the whispers. I'll play it a couple more times for you. Hopefully you can hear it. So, I mean, you could hear the Zoe Zoe no pretty clear. Um, Hopefully it's coming through to you guys. I'm not sure if you're hearing it or not, but I really was trying to get it set up so you could.
Grand Central today. Holy smokes.
As we hear the noisy trucks. So, um,
We're also fixing that problem too here shortly, so.
So let us know if you were able to hear that. And in the meantime, I'm going to actually play the second clip in hopes that you're actually hearing it. Now, this one is a low whisper, so you have to listen to it very carefully. But I'll play it 2 or 3 more times for you again so you could hear it.
Wow. Wow.
So those were the very first 2 EVPs I had ever captured in my entire life. And it was
over her grave?
It was at her grave.
Hmm.
Now again, back then I didn't do any research. I didn't look up the history. I didn't do any of that. Later on, though, we did go back and look into it. And Marianne actually found a lot of very interesting stuff about this grave. One of them, if I remember correctly, her husband's name was Elmer Gray, right?
That sounds familiar. I think so.
And he was buried on the opposite end of the cemetery.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So I don't know if it's because of different sections for different religions or what, but I know that they were buried
Hmm.
far, far apart for whatever reason.
Hmm.
Um,
This is one of the very first um people that I did research on as part of the team, and it this was so long ago. I'm trying my memory's pretty foggy, so I'm hesitant to say anything because like, I don't know if I'm gonna tell you right or not. But I did a lot of research, and it's all written down somewhere. We found stuff that nobody else has found, um, so I'll probably put that in our long cut version.
Now, I'm seeing a couple of you are saying that you can't hear it. All you're hearing is buzzing noise and stuff like that.
Mm,
So what I'll do is I'll turn off our mic and I'll play them both a couple more times and see if that helps. Because you might be hearing our mic.
mm.
Also, if you're not using headphones or something like that, I don't know what it's going to sound like for you, but I'll turn off our mic and then I'll play both the clips a couple of times for you and hope that that might help you hear it. Give that a shot. So hopefully that helped a little bit more.
Nevis says she heard it.
All right, and we can find a way to get these clips uploaded somewhere so you can hear it clearly. They are EVPs, so it's not going to sound like we do right now or anything like that. They're whispers. You do hear other noise around it, but they're they are EVPs, and it's it's something that I can't deny that I can hear pretty clearly. But we'll try to find a way to deliver some copies to you guys so you
Yeah.
can hear it on a couple different ways. And even if you want us to send you a copy of it and you can clean it up however you want to, let us know and we can do that for you. Um, but that was definitely a weird first experience for me, and it was really an eye opener because it brought a little bit more of a validation that there is stuff going on, which I couldn't argue. What was your first investigation?
Well, I had done a couple um, before I met you and were on your team. I'm trying to think here. I don't know what my very first one was. I'd have to go back and look. Um, I know I went to a very big theater here that I can't tell you about because we had permission to go in there. We're just not supposed to say where we were at. Um, and it was very active. I'm trying to think of, but I don't think that was our very first one. Anyway, lots of stuff happening there. Security guard was even telling us stories about how he had a hard time uh, being the night guard because stuff was very active on a regular basis. So, um, but yeah, I can't really say a whole lot about that.
Mm.
I'm trying to remember. I don't know. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but
But you know, after after I did this experience, um, I was driven to find some group that would at least let me shadow them and follow them around. And I happened to get onto a website called meetup.com. And I saw that there was a local paranormal team.
oh my goodness. Holy crap.
They got to be loud. There was a local paranormal team that was holding a meetup, a meet and greet type thing at a small little sandwich shop. So I immediately signed up for it and I went out there and I think the team was called USUP. Don't ask me what it stood for because I forgot. It was a long time ago. But they were doing a meet and greet. They were showing some of the stuff they've collected through their investigations, and they were just answering questions, things like that. And I thought it was really cool. So I was just, ears up and just kind of listening and absorbing everything I could. And I happened to be sitting next to the guy that ran the tech for that group. And I just struck up a conversation with him and we started talking back and forth. And apparently he was impressed with what I had to say. So a few days later, he contacted me and said, "Hey, you want to go out and have a cup of coffee?" Hell yeah. So I went and met up with him, had some coffee, talked a little bit more about the field and what the team did and what I was looking to do and get out of it. And at the end of it, he asked me if I wanted to be part of his team. Not going to say no, right? I was stoked. I was really excited to actually have an opening to be able to go and investigate with people who actually knew how to investigate. And with the period of time that I was with them, we had some pretty cool investigations. Uh, didn't really have a lot of experiences out of it. I went to some cool places and had some cool experiences, but there were usually a lot more meetings and a lot more chit chat and a lot more hanging out than there was investigations. And after a while, it kind of got to the point where I wanted more. I wanted to actually go out there and physically be engaged with the investigation, not just talking about it and doing other stuff. So I decided that I was going to form my own side side group. Well, I was still part of their team, but my side group was designed to provide technical support for the paranormal community. So, in other words, I had the surveillance cameras, I had the audio recorders, I had the flashlights and K2s and millimeters, and I had just all the gear. And I was offering to go out and use my gear on their investigations, understanding that it was still their investigation, so it's their thing. I'm just running the gear and offer that service to a lot of the local paranormal teams that were out there that didn't have the availability or the manpower to run this equipment. And so that's where TIPA originally was born. It was not a paranormal team, but it was tech support for the local paranormal community, which was weird. A lot of people had a hard time wrapping their
Yeah.
head around that
Mm-hmm.
because nobody ever did that before. Everybody, I'm a paranormal investigator. I'm part of a paranormal team. I'm like, I'm not. I'm just the tech guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I still joke about that to this day. I'm just the camera guy. I'm just the tech guy. Obviously I know more than that, but it's how it was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but after some time and after running tech for a few of the teams, um, people started coming to me directly. They came to me directly asking me if I would investigate their house for them. And I said, sure, what team do you want to handle it? And they would say, I want you to handle it. I'm not really a team, I'm tech. And so after I had been asked enough times about that, I decided, okay, I need to start bringing people in to handle the other aspects of actually functioning as an independent team. And so I needed people to do research. I needed people who had gifts. I needed people who can handle contracts and things like that. And so I started talking with people and bringing them on board. Um, it was unique for me because I was still going out and having the experiences, just being tech support, but I was mostly behind the monitors and reviewing the footage, not so much being out there asking questions and interacting directly. Sometimes I would, sometimes they'd have me go out, but um, one of the times I actually caught an amazing picture. It was at a place in Tooele. They go by the name of Asylum 49, but it was actually just an old hospital. It wasn't an asylum. It was an old hospital. But I was in the room where they had labor and delivery, and they were asking questions, and I took a picture, and in this picture was an image of a small girl standing off to the right, looking down. And you could see her chubby little cheeks, and you could tell that she was wearing a dress, and you could see certain features in this picture. And it blew my mind because um, two other things happened at the same moment. One of them was a flashlight that was laying on the hospital bed started to roll. And before that, they had multiple flashlights set up in the room, and a couple of them were mine. And I remember asking, would you turn on my flashlights so I know where mine are at? One by one, mine turned on. And then I said, thank you. Now, would you mind turning on the other flashlights so I know where they're at? Mine shut off, and every other one turned on. And so
Crazy.
three things within a very, very short amount of time took place, from the flashlights responding to a flashlight rolling on the mattress
Mm-hmm.
to catching a picture of this little girl in the corner.
Which they saw in the opening. There's a shot of that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it
in
was
the
in the
opening. So
opening.
if you watched that, go if you want to go see it again. That's what he's talking about. It's in that where it's that TIPA where it's explaining the origins of it.
Hmm.
It's in that footage.
And I might be able to find another clip for you uh, on that as well. Um, Another thing here. Let me see if I could find. Uh, Test run, test run. School. I'm seeing if I could find a clip that I can show you. Test run, team photo. Solar Paranormal Gathering. Reveal. Sorry, I have a lot of
There's a lot
old
of
videos.
footage.
Um, Episode 1.
Hello from Norway.
Norway. Hello. I hope you're doing really good today.
Yes.
Um, let's see, that's Draper. I'm gonna just play a clip. Hopefully it doesn't blow your ears out. Let me see. Okay, so I'm gonna, again, please be gentle with me. I didn't really know a lot about video editing or doing any of that fancy cut and splice stuff. So I'm going to show you some of our old video clips that I pieced together. This one I'm about to show you is just a variety of different things. And then it's going to have a guitar track playing in the background, and you're going to hear some different whispers and things in it. But it'll give you some idea of some of the visuals of some of the highlights that we caught at that time. And the guy playing the guitar, just ignored that. Just don't pay any attention to who that might be because he's not around anymore.
Whatever.
So
Whatever.
here's that little clip. Hopefully you can hear it okay. Right there. So that's the picture I was telling you about. Um, I would love to try to zoom in a little bit more for you. I do have some still shots somewhere in my mass library of evidence collected, but this is the room. That's the hospital bed, and the flashlight that rolled on the mattress was actually rolling up the mattress, which is why it didn't make any sense. But you can see the little girl above that white light. You can see her eyes. You can see her chubby cheeks. You can see her dress going down underneath the light. Um, and that was just one of the things captured that night, which was pretty crazy. I'll go ahead and let the rest of the video run so you can listen to that horrible guitar player's music. Here you go. All right. So that was a couple of different images that I pulled together when I was making that weird little video with that horrible guitar player's music. But
Whatever.
that showed the picture of the little girl that I was telling you about, and it actually zoomed in. I didn't realize it, but it cut up to a closer up shot of it. It was really an interesting photo to have. And actually, there was a contest later on where the hospital people doing the ghost hunts there was doing a contest, and people were supposed to submit their best piece of evidence. And somebody actually stole my picture and tried to submit it as their own, not realizing that the people who were running the contest were friends of mine, and they had already seen that picture before, so they knew whose it was.
Lame.
That's how lame it gets. Yeah.
Lame.
So
Yeah.
But that is pretty much where the beginning surface of TIPA came to be. After we got a little bit bigger and we got a little bit busier, we came up with something very unique, and I'm going to show you that right now.
Except
Oh, go ahead.
they love the guitar. They love the guitar player.
Yeah, they're just being nice.
I think it's cool too.
I'll show them the next one and see if they like that one, but that's after this. So this next clip we're going to be showing you is after we got big enough and we had enough demand for us, we had to go mobile. We had to find a way that we could have a base camp set up, but it wasn't inside of the location. So we can still run our cameras, we can still watch the footage, we can still review everything, we could live stream when we wanted to. So we had to customize this trailer. And you guys will probably laugh when you see me because you'll see how long ago this actually was. So be gentle. Please be gentle. And let me get my mouse in order. We're going to show you the clip right now of what our trailer used to look like. So here it is.
I would see through the wall before and it's on like the whole hallway. 40 bucks isn't a bad deal. But no, they only last an hour and a half. Then you gotta recharge them.
So this is the new equipment for TIPA
Yeah.
at the asylum. First investigation with the new equipment. So we have a mobile unit now where they can have everything centralized. Bring the equipment in for the monitor. Okay, since you're in there, Josh.
Took an hour to set up before, took about a half hour to set up now. We got the main monitor for live feed so we can see what's happening live. Monitor 2 is for instant review, so we can review anything that we catch. And monitor 3 is for reviewing photos, videos, EVPs, so we're not interfering with the rest of the monitors. Then we have our 8-channel DVR system here, which is feeding most of the monitors. Everything's tied into a computer system. Then we have our storage compartment down below for all our equipment.
Cool. And you were saying if we do live feeds, then you'll use the third monitor for that as well, apparently.
That's correct. Live broadcasting will be done through that monitor as well.
Very good. And here's the back end of the trailer.
That Metallica doesn't.
I think it'd be fine.
Yeah.
It was pretty sweet. It was a pretty sweet trailer.
It took us a lot of work to build that because there's a lot of customizing that took place inside that trailer that you guys don't see there. We had to reinforce the flooring. We had to drill out holes in the front of the trailer so we could attach a power extension cord to it to power up the trailer. We had to drill two more ports so we could have the cables for the cameras attached to the outside of the trailer and run the cables inside so we could set up the cameras, and then power supplies for those. And then it was a really, really nice setup, and it worked hard. We put that thing to a lot of good use through the
Oh,
years.
yes. Yeah.
Looked really cool at night too, because we had some blue lights that would shine down on it and just make it glow. Missed that trailer.
It was, yeah. We'll get another one.
Yeah, but I mean, that was our mobile base, and that's where we could review our evidence right there on site. We can keep an eye on all the camera footage. We did do some live streams from there when we had a strong enough signal, and it was definitely unique. And other people started doing something similar. I think one team ended up trying to buy an ambulance, and they were trying to modify the ambulance to work, but I don't think they ever got that finished.
It's not a bad idea, though.
No, but that was what we would load up, and we'd go out to our locations and we'd conduct our investigations with, and it was pretty cool. I gotta admit, it was pretty cool.
It was. We had a lot of good times in there.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
So that was another element of it. Now I know some people that have been asking about our history has really wanted to see the footage of when I first met a certain somebody.
I think he's talking about me.
And I have that certain footage for you. That's only if you want to see it, though. I want to see some TIPA shouts in the chat, so I know that you actually want to.
Of course they want to see it.
I'm just reading the comments, waiting for the TIPA shouts. Do you want to see when I first met Marianne? Do you really want to see it?
Not many people have footage of the day they met.
It's just a glimpse, but it's there.
Oh, there's one.
I wonder if they're trying to catch up to us. Yes, we do, says Neva.
Lots of hearts.
There is a delay from what we see and what you see, so we're patient people.
I hope he's talking about you. Yeah, right?
Oh, crap. I got to find that clip. All right.
There's the whole thing, including the toilet paper. There we go.
All right. So the place we were at, I'm gonna give you the backstory. Then I promise I'll show you the video. The place we were at was a place called the Miners Cafe. I can't remember what city it was
Stockton.
in Stockton, Utah. We were invited there by a mutual acquaintance who said that they'd love for us to go there and do our investigation and see what we can find. They had some different stories of activity that took place there, and we were like, yeah, we'd be happy to come out and check it out. It's what we do. And the friend of ours asked us if she could invite a friend to come too, who also is familiar in the paranormal and would like to join. We're like, yeah, sure, absolutely. Just let her come. She was the friend.
Yay!
So this video is a little bit long again. Forgive me. Back then I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So if I get too bored and think you guys are getting too bored, I'll try to skip ahead to the point where she is introduced to us, because it was pretty darn cool. I'll do this one because it's not like the other one that was all music. Okay. I'm going to kick it on full screen for you guys, and here we go.
Here we go.
we've got plenty of places that we can set up on the tripods up, so we really won't need to, I think, extend them all the way up.
Yeah, we can always do that while we're at the spot. If we decide to.
No, yeah, I don't think we're gonna have to.
So you saw all that wiring downstairs and you're like, whoa.
First thing was EMF. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of EMF.
Is that what she's feeling maybe?
Maybe. I asked her if she went through with the meter yet. She said no. So, so yeah, like I said, that other team that's coming next weekend, they don't have nearly as much as we have. So. Right. Yes.
There we go, Josh. That's what we needed downstairs in that back room is some of those flashlights.
Yeah. Well, we'll still have our channels.
I turned on that walkie, Neil, and I said, I bet you Josh has already made the channels the same. Sure enough.
Well, I just leave them all the same.
Being,
Yeah. Probably sitting on her husband's face and.
I'm recording, you know that, right?
Yeah, well, that's kind of careful. Cute little comments.
Josh doesn't upload to YouTube without thinking, you know.
Mandy hears that.
We
She goes,
st-
not only does he have lucky farts,
Now she's like, that's why I didn't go.
we go ahead and start getting all these questions on the YouTube page. What's Mandy's phone number?
It was nice of Brian to give me this background.
Brian's actually a good guy.
Yeah, he just does his
he can be.
Now Ryan, on the other hand.
On your way?
Hi.
No, this is my friend Marianne.
Hi, Marianne.
She's just bringing her stuff in, so she
Hi.
can put it down. She's all the way up here from Provo.
Wow.
Goodness.
She works with another lady down there, but I think that woman's crazy, so I told her, you need to come up here with me. Did she finally move? She moved. Yeah. Hallelujah! This is the one that believed that aliens came through the vortex.
Oh my God.
I remember you telling me about
Holy
that.
crap.
Wait a minute, that's not the truth?
Dennis just told me something that
Wow.
was interesting. In this other room over here, he said, you'll see one over here, and he said, and they've actually caught pictures of it floating up.
Wow.
He said, and you'll see it all the time, he said, because there used to be, okay, this used to be two.
There she is. You see? There she is. First time I met her. She was sporting the you had your fanny pack on that night, right?
I sure did. I had a fanny pack.
She had her fanny pack, and then she had a strap that she put around her arm to attach her audio recorder to, and
Yeah, I velcroed that sucker so I didn't have to hold it. I was smart.
she had night vision camera with
Yep.
all the lights, and she was there for business.
I
She
sure was.
meant work. Here, I'll play a little bit more of it, then we'll hop on to the next part.
Story, that's where they put the hotel, was up on top.
Oh.
So
Oh.
that would make sense, because he said the stairs were right there. So you'll see this guy get out from a chair over here and go this way up.
That's
Wow.
Yeah, on this side, right here next to this wall, on the other side of that wall.
We're probably gonna hit in both corners, so that's what we'll get it covered. So.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I just want something to jump out of Billy so bad. Whatever, and he's just like, oh,
Look at that short hair.
One thing I did.
big fit, that he's such a non-believer that even if he did see something now, I think he would deny.
Okay.
But, yeah.
We will call that far enough on that clip. So there it is.
Did you see Josh's short hair? My
No,
goodness.
They didn't see me at all. I
Yeah.
wasn't in there.
He has short hair.
I wasn't even there that night.
Why did you play that then? Look, isn't it gorgeous? It's not going shorter than that ever. It looks so much better that way. But yeah, that was
Yeah, that was the first time we ever met.
yeah.
And on that investigation, I was that was before we had the trailer and everything. That's why we're setting up all our stuff in there. And the stuff was a little bit more outdated back then. But after seeing the way that Marianne would conduct her investigation, she was relying on her audio recorder, the creativity of having it attached to her arm, and then the way she had her camera set up and the way she was conducting herself through the night, impressed me. It really did impress me. So after the investigation was done, we went over and sat down at one of the tables and talked a little bit more. And I asked her if she'd like to be part of the team and help us do what we do. And I think she said yes.
I'm pretty sure.
You think so?
I think so.
I hope she did. So that was the first night I ever had the opportunity of meeting Marianne.
I remember it just like it
Jen
was
saw the
like
top
last
of,
week.
saw the top of my head. Oh yeah, it's because I was too busy hooking everything up.
Yeah.
I was trying to get stuff together. But that was the very first day we met, and there's actually more pictures and stuff that I have buried deep within the realms of this computer.
We'll put that in the actual video, probably.
Yeah, that I'll share with you guys and kind of point it out. We over time grew, and we started doing better with our routines, camera setup, our walkthroughs, our evidence review, things like that. And it got really, we were really refined. We really had an awesome team together and had some awesome investigations. Some with all the team, some with only part of the team.
Yeah. We had a good team.
We actually had opportunities that came up too. There's a place in downtown Salt Lake that opened up a few years ago. It's an old cement factory that they had modified and converted into a haunted attraction for Halloween. And our team was actually the very first team to go out there before they even started setting up all their Halloween stuff. So we went in there when it was still just the cement factory. Even though it was shut down, it was our first time there. And that was a really, really cool experience.
It was.
And in fact, I'll show you guys just a little bit of the walkthrough. And again, I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I was editing, so be gentle. And again, this one I didn't do the guitar in it.
I don't
This
think
one
so.
wasn't
No,
my guitar work. So you could trash on the guitar work if you want on this one. But I'll give you some glimpses of the first time we walked through there, which was rather interesting. That. And I am going to open that. And I am going to play.
That brings back so many memories.
Doesn't it though?
Yes, it does. That's a cool place. It really is.
Yeah,
like
it
it.
is. Unfortunately, now
It's completely different now.
yeah, they've changed the place so much you probably never even recognize the original anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a cool haunted attraction. We conducted quite a few investigations there, private and public, and had some really cool experiences.
Yeah, we did.
Ghost Adventures has been out there. Their story on that was a little bit different, but hey, it is entertainment. And so, these are some of the places we've been to, some of the experiences we've had over the years. Again, it's trying to show you guys 10 years worth of our life in an hour or so is kind of difficult. So we're trying to just throw to you little bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, especially with the amount of locations we've been and how much footage there is on all of it. It's a lot.
It is. I started getting a little more creative on our intros. Actually, that one, didn't I have another one where I had my guitar riff on it?
Yeah, but I wouldn't have any clue where it's at.
I can't even remember what it was anymore.
We'll have to dig that out.
Bum, 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 bum.
I think it's pretty awesome. I think it's pretty awesome too. I like that one. Good job.
So when we got a little bit more advanced, a little more honed in on our skills, I guess you could say, I started playing more with the video footage between investigations. Woo woo.
Grand Central, I swear.
This is another like introduction clip to the team that we used to put out there, just so people would dig what we did, I guess you could put it. I don't know what you want to call it, but here's another one of those little funny videos that I threw together. Yep.
I remember this one.
Yep.
I look so pissed in there. I'm not, but it translated to anger. It's not anger.
It's freaking cold and I don't have my coat on. What the hell? So,
Look how tiny my head is compared to everyone. What the heck?
here, you want to see how tiny your head is?
It's tiny.
There
Like,
she is.
what the heck? It's half the size of Brett's there.
Well,
I look like a teenager.
Brett had a big head. So
Well, no comment.
Yeah, don't compare it to his.
I'm gonna
head.
leave that one alone.
Yeah.
But we did have a good team. We did.
Yeah,
We had some good times.
we had a solid team. There's some members that aren't on there. Kevin is one of them. That was a huge asset.
Kevin
to
was
us.
awesome.
And yeah, there was a few others that kind of came and went. Like I said, we have a lot of footage that we could share with you about different investigations we've done. We have some really interesting flashlight sessions that took place, some really interesting light anomalies that took place. It's just too much for us to just dump into this one video. There is one though that I know that you guys would like to see, and this is the one where Marianne's face
Oh, yeah.
morphed.
I forgot about that.
This is a clip from when we were at Ogden Union Station,
Mm-hmm.
and we were doing an investigation there. Marianne felt like something was not right, and it was getting worse, and she brought my attention to it. I was holding a full spectrum camera. And if you don't know what a full spectrum camera is it was able to pick up light that was lower than what your eyes can visually see. I'm drunk. Which is also
right.
known to pick up infrared light, but it could also pick up the higher end of the spectrum above human vision, which is known as ultraviolet light. Damn, I'm having a hard time. So this camera could pick up both ends of the spectrum. And so at first when I hit her with the IR light. And then you'll see at one point I switch it over to the UV light, and you can see what happened. And so I'm going to share this clip with you, then we'll come back, then we'll talk a little bit more about it, then we'll probably finish out the video. But I'm going to find it real quick. I'm going to open it real quick, and then I'm going to pause it real quick. So I can turn it on here real quick.
It's a trip, you guys.
And I can shut my mic off.
Hold on to your
real quick.
hats.
And
Yeah, get your TP if necessary,
get
because you
your
might.
TDP ready. This was a hell of a ride.
It really was weird.
So I'm going to shut my mic off, and then we'll play it for you. Is it following you around? What are you feeling?
It darn near took me over. My vision started going, I couldn't see him anymore. And then I couldn't open my eyes for a sec, so. I'm okay, I just have to,
I know, I'm just checking.
and all we were doing was just sitting there talking.
It's like I'm checking.
Wow.
Close your eyes for a sec. Keep them closed. Okay, I don't think you're done. I think you may keep doing whatever you're doing. not done yet. Come here. Marianne, if I could have you face me again, close your eyes. Look at her face. See what I'm saying? And she has dark spots around her mouth, on her forehead. So just keep doing whatever you need to do to. Did you bring sage? Let's get you outside and sage you down.
Okay.
Come on. I'll show you what I was looking at. Make sure my mic's turned up louder. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
I saw somebody mention that
Yeah.
it was down kind of low.
Did you see that though? That was a trip.
Now, there was more to that footage. I'm trying not to be too loud because there's a fine balance of getting the volume up high enough and then getting it to clip out. So just bear with me. But there was more to that footage where we actually took her outside, right? Because your sage was out there. And got the sage smoking up real good and did the thing with the sage. But after the first round, we checked again, and it was still there. It wasn't as pronounced, but it was still there. So we knew that it wasn't done yet. We had to keep doing it until
It was really gone.
Till Marianne was like, "Okay, I can't feel it anymore."
That was a wild ride.
Yeah. What's crazy about it though is you said that you could feel its heartbeat on top of your heartbeat.
I could. Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine what that would feel like.
It's weird. It's weird. It's really hard to explain because it's not like you feel your heartbeat. It's different. It's almost like it's a little space out. I can't explain it, but you could still feel it. And I just knew it was right. I just knew it was close enough to me that I didn't want it to be that close. I needed it to be further away because right before you shot, and I forgot I'd said this, but right before you'd shot it, it was really powerful. I couldn't focus on anything. I couldn't really even blink my eyes. I couldn't, like, it was ready to get in and take me over. And I can't remember what broke me out of it just enough that I just kept walking. And I was like, okay, no, I gotta stay here. I gotta stay focused because I lost my attention for just a second, and that's all it needed. So, yeah, it was a weird feeling. It was really weird.
It was weird seeing it.
I'm sure it was. I'm surprised you got a mustache and a beard.
Well, you could even see her jawbone.
Yeah.
Kind of got a little bit wider
Different.
than things, and
This stuff's real.
there was other experiences that we can cover on another time with that place. Experience she's had and experiences I've had and things like that. Place is definitely inactive. There's a section in there called the Browning Theater, and at one point, when they were hauling in the bodies of the soldiers that had passed away, I can't remember what the war was, but they actually used to stack the bodies in the Browning Theater to get them staged, so when the next train came, they could load up the bodies and take them out. A lot of weird stories behind that place. And so
A lot of very strong energy there.
yeah, so I mean, it was one of those experiences where you just are left scratching your head going, okay, this is real. What do we do to better prepare for it the next time? Learn from every investigation. And that's one thing that I have a hard time with sometimes when I'm talking with other paranormal teams or paranormal investigators is you can't state things as fact. Because the paranormal field is the field of the unknown. So there is no facts behind it. There's just experiences. There's lessons. There's theories. There's ideas. There's possibilities. But it's not factual. At least nothing that I have found yet is factual. An example is if somebody is living in a house, and we've had this experience before, if somebody is living in a house and they follow one specific religious belief, okay, Then you have a paranormal team that comes in that their belief system is on a completely different area,
Mm-hmm.
and they come in and they tell you you need to do these practices from this religion, even though it goes against your religion. It's not going to work for you because you don't have the belief behind it.
Mm-mm.
You know, you may have the fear, you may have the I'll try anything, but when you're doing those steps, if you don't have 100% belief in what you're doing, it is not going to work. If there is doubt, it is not going to work. If there is hesitation, it's not going to work. Um, and so, whenever you're dealing with something in the paranormal field, you have to deal with it through your own belief structure because it's your energy, your belief, and your power to address what you're dealing with. Whether you understand how to do it or not, it truly is. You just need people to help you understand that. Um, so we had to learn a lot of different religions. We had to learn a lot of different belief structures. We had to learn a lot of different approaches
Mm-hmm.
that people took to help people who were dealing with situations like this because it's all about the individual's belief or the people's belief that are in the middle of it that is trying to address it. And that was the hardest thing to really teach people is
There's not always one. It's not a one size fits all.
and that's where I have a hard time when some people will say this is the only way you're going to do it or this is the only things you can say to get it banished from your environment and this is the only way because it's not the
That's
only way.
Yeah, that's a dangerous thing to say. I feel like I would never tell anyone this is the way and this is the only way. I would never tell I you can't. You just you that's I feel like that's kind of dangerous.
It is, and we've seen the aftermath of some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We've had to come and pick up the pieces of things that people had to go through,
Yeah.
just to find out that the people who were explaining it to them had no idea what the hell they were doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and it could be very dangerous psychologically
Mm-hmm.
and physically.
Mm-hmm.
And so, being cautious with who you're dealing with is probably the number one important. Finding out from people that they've actually helped and how did they help them is very important. There are people out there who will go in and say that nothing is paranormal because they refuse to accept things to be paranormal. You know, a door slams shut in the third floor. Oh, it was the wind, but all the windows are closed and there's no draft. Well, it was the wind. You know, that doesn't help. You know, and on the other hand, it doesn't help either when somebody says, you know, I don't feel comfortable in this room, and all of a sudden they're told, well, there's a big vortex in the corner and spirits will come through and this is a dangerous evil spot, you're in major trouble, when we can go in and identify that their microwave is pumping out so much EMF when it's running that it floods that entire kitchen.
Mm-hmm. And that's happened.
And it's the microwave that's causing it, not nothing paranormal.
Right.
Once we explained that to that client, he started doing the hit and run maneuver where he'd set the clock, he'd hit start, and he'd run out of the kitchen, let the microwave go through his cycle, and when it was done, he'd come back into the kitchen, and guess what? He no longer had those experiences. He no longer had the effects that he was feeling prior to it.
Mm-hmm.
We told him to replace the microwave, but he just chose to do the hit and run maneuver instead. But the fact is we brought it to his attention enough to where he could do something about it.
Exactly.
Once he did something about it, he no longer had the issues he used to have. When another group told him that it was a vortex and that it was all this demon, paranormal, bad mojo stuff going on, and it was a microwave.
Yeah. That's dangerous. That's
Yeah.
dangerous.
And so it truly is hard. It is truly hard when you see people who are in genuine need of help, not really knowing which group to contact. You know, who's the most popular? Who's the one that everybody follows the most? Who's the one? Doesn't always mean that they're the best ones for you. You know, finding the best one for you is honestly like anything else, doing your research, talking with them a little bit, see if you're on the same page with them, or see if they seem a little bit off, if you know what I mean. Because you'll be able to identify that pretty quick before you have them do anything. Um, and-
Talk to them first and get a feel if you guys feel like you'd be a good match. You know.
Absolutely.
Trust your gut.
Now, there are some incredible teams out there. 100% hands down, there are some incredible people out there. There's even some incredible YouTubers out there who do the paranormal, who know what they're doing, who know their game, and they know how to handle it correctly. And so, shout out to all of you who take this serious and who don't push it off the deep end one way or another. I mean, because when you're ultimately trying to help somebody's mental state, you're honestly trying to help somebody's family situation. You need somebody who's going to take you serious and not just kind of concoct a wild-eyed story just to look cool, I
Yeah.
guess.
Glorify yourself or
Right.
yeah.
I mean, it got hard after a while. I mean, that's part of the reason why we kind of just shut down the team and kind of laid it to rest for a while, is because it turned into a drama fest for one. Every paranormal team thought they were going to be the next Ghost Adventures. Every paranormal team was looking to be the next big thing on, you know.
So much drama, and we don't do drama. I don't. Nope.
And between that and between everybody and their dog, you go down the street and knock on every other house, and you're going to have a paranormal investigator who lived there. Even if they didn't really know how to do it, they're going to say they did. You know, it got to the point where it was so saturated that it was so hard for us to try to help all the people that truly needed the help. We were overwhelmed, and we knew we weren't going to be able to do it. So we got to the point where we are in contact with a few local paranormal groups that are still doing it to this day, and that we trust 110% to do it right. We still get contacted to help people with certain situations. We got contacted last night.
Yeah, we did.
To help somebody deal with a certain situation they're dealing with, and we're going to help them. But it's just when you're dealing with that field, a lot of people want the shock and awe. A lot of people want that, oh, they got scratched, something got thrown, something exploded, something levitated, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens, but it's not going to be every episode. It's not going to happen every investigation you go on.
There's a lot of very boring investigations, let me tell you. Lots.
Yeah.
Lots of waiting for that one little tiny piece of something, and then that's all you get.
And so if you're looking to really learn more about the paranormal field, and you're going on YouTube and you're looking at channels that are paranormal related, read very closely on their descriptions, their about us, things like that. Make sure they're not claiming to be for entertainment only, because that's one that slips through a lot of times that people don't say. You know, on their about us section, you know, and this channel is for entertainment purposes only. That tells you that they can be as creative as they want. You know, don't hold that to be the truth about the paranormal.
I mean, and he's not saying that none of it is true, but just realize they very likely could have used some creative license.
Well, that's why I said if it says that it's for entertainment purposes, they're telling you right out of the gate, we're here to entertain you. We're not here to tell you this is how it actually is. You know, and you can tell. It's just like Randonautica. You can tell when it's being done for entertainment versus when it's being done for how it really is, because not every pin you're going to run across is going to have
the Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Thank you. You will find them. You will be out there and you'll find things that fit your intent, but not everyone is going to be in scary. Randonautica is scary. Randonautica
I almost died
is dangerous.
again.
I almost died again. Because you could cross the street and have a car 2 blocks down, and I could have died. That car could have hit me if I would have moved slower.
It's so funny because it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Anyway.
do have to be creative with your thumbnails to get people to come in and click in on it, especially when you're looking to get new content creators. But you still need to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, you still need to be honest with what's going on. You know, we are still pups in the YouTube community. We've only been around for 2.5 months. We're still kind of looking around going, wow, look at all the shinies. You know? But
Accurate.
we are coming into it with a vast knowledge and a vast level of experience in the community. And so we will never claim to be professionals, but we are experienced.
That's a good way to put it.
We are experienced, and we've had our share of situations to actually have what we believe a decent grasp on a lot of what's happening out there. Things like the tunnel, okay, figure that one out. but we still have theories going on that. We're going to be going back there as well. So, well, I think it's time for us to just go ahead and close out this live stream. I'll give it a few minutes to see if anybody has any more comments down below before I go. I'll give a little wave just so I can time myself on the screen. So I know
Because
what
of the
you guys are
delay.
seeing. And if you have any questions, just drop them right now. If not, we'll just wait a couple of minutes and then we'll go ahead and close out. Thank you, Neva, for telling us we are doing amazing.
You are doing amazing too.
You are definitely doing amazing.
We appreciate you guys so much. Our mods, man,
Yeah.
they're awesome.
Let's see. Or, ooh, look what my drone caught. Bigfoot at Spooky Oogie.
Spooky Oogie.
Spooky Oogie.
Yeah.
I like Spooky Oogie.
That would be kind of cool to catch a Bigfoot on drone, though.
Yeah, it would be
I gotta say.
It would be funny.
That would be cool.
Thank you, Bonnie Beautiful Chaos. We appreciate that. All right, looks like there's not really any other questions, so... Well, we hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day. We love you very much. Thank you for sharing, liking, subscribing, loving. And watching out for us, too, because I know some of you have been pretty worried about us sometimes. Rightly so. Especially when I'm unsupervised.
That's my line.
Hey, I was unsupervised yesterday for half that stream.
That's true. I probably should go back and rewatch that. What is this for my tears?
You'll need that when you watch it. So.
Oh, okay.
Just want to see when you met Honey Misty. We already showed that, but we could show it again at some point. So, all right, we love you guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.